If you're a GM EV owner, you might want to check your My GM app because you probably have a 10% discount at IONNA waiting for you in there. Let's get into it. So if you're a GM owner, you probably have the My GM app, either My Chevy, My Cadillac, or My GMC. And if you go in there, you'll see a little bell icon that probably has a red dot on it indicating that you have a new notification. When you click on that, you're going to see the new message that will indicate that you have a 10% discount now at IONNA. And there's a couple of different ways that you can qualify for that. And I don't think if you walk up to one of these stations and just hit it with a credit card that you're going to get that discount. I think you need to enable the plug-in charge, is what I have set up here for the LYRIQ. My wife and I are on our way back home. We were at the Congaree National Forest at a beautiful spring day with the forest snapping to life, and we just need a little bit of splash and dash in order to make it back home. So we cruise in here to the IONNA station in order to do that. So let's go ahead and get plugged in. I'll show the discount at the end. And while we're charging, I'll walk around the station because this is a brand new station in Rock Hill, South Carolina off Interstate 77. Okay, I got my adapter connected, and it should, at other IONNA stations, just automatically start. I haven't really tried it with an adapter before, but I'm assuming it's going to be the same situation here. Let's go ahead and get it connected and make sure that it actually starts with plug-in charge. Click. 39 cents per kilowatt hour. Nothing yet. But there we go. Preparing to charge. Looks like this was a location of one of the 2-year celebrations because they still have the poster left up there from the celebration. And if I remember correctly, there was a local EV club that called this place home for the celebratory events where they were passing out swag and providing information. I just heard my cars click in, so sure enough, we are going to ramp up. Let's walk around the station here while that's happening. And as I mentioned, this is a relatively new station. We got a canopy that has double wide pull through, which is very nice. And we've got trash cans, squeegees with the paper towels. When I was here the first time, those were not filled. Let's see if there's anything in here now. Yep, sure enough, all ready to go, and all the trash cans are empty, meaning that the service is occurring, which is good. CCS, I don't know if it's CCS on this side. It looks like every single one of these CCS. I wonder if every single one of the other ones on the other side are NACS. Let's check. The one that I used was NACS. NACS, and then CCS. So 3 NACS on this side and 1 CCS. So we've got a total of 8 Alpitronics for a total of 16 stalls. Really nice looking canopy. Let me just zoom in a little bit here at the IONNA imagery. And in a very vibrant parking lot, we've got a Italian restaurant. You can sign up for the armed forces if you're so inclined. Multiple other retail establishments and a couple of fast food restaurants. We've got a Chick-fil-A, which is very crowded right now on a Saturday afternoon, and a Popeye's chicken over here. So tons of things. Let's go ahead and get to the car. All right, let's see how the car is doing. We are at 21%, and it's a little bit easier to see over here, but we're pulling 181 kilowatts in, which for this state of charge is just about tapping out. We're supposed to be able to do 190, but I've never actually seen that. Typically only mid 180s when it's really thirsty like we are now. And as I said, we don't need a lot in order to get home, just a little bit of a splash and dash, but everything seems to be working, the plug and charge and everything. The big question though is whether or not we are actually getting the discount that was advertised in the My GM app. And for those who don't know, my wife and I have a Cadillac LYRIQ, but we also are owners of a Chevrolet Equinox EV, which means that we are eligible to use both the My Cadillac app and the My Chevrolet app. And GM doesn't really do a good job of thinking through when a customer has a electric vehicle from 2 different brands underneath the same household. And basically what happens in that situation is you have to choose which app you're going to use if you want both people to be able to use both cars, which is what me and my wife prefer. I mean, if each person is individually using one car, it's really not an issue. It's only when both people want to use both cars and you basically have to choose one app. You can't have two apps. It gets too confusing. But I suppose that's a good problem to have. But let's go ahead and walk around the station just a little bit more, and then we'll finish up charging and we'll take a look at the discounts. So as you can see, just a really nice canopy, and they spared no expense. They got solid foundations, definitely going to be here for the duration, built to last. Really nice looking canopy. As I mentioned, everything is being serviced as far as the garbage cans, squeegees, and paper towels. Alpitronic hyperchargers very close to the Alpitronic headquarters in Charlotte, North Carolina, and just absolutely beautiful station that seems to be pretty heavily used today on a busy Saturday off Interstate 77. Let's go ahead and get disconnected and see what kind of the discount looks like on the screen. Okay, you can see we got the IONNA shop showing up now on the display of the chargers. I'm going to go ahead and stop charging and take a look at the receipt. I wonder if it says anything in the cost detail. Running costs, energy costs. It doesn't say anything about a discount here. Let's go ahead and stop it. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure it's stopping. Let's see what it says with the receipts. Running cost. Cost detail. Whoops. I don't see anything mentioning a discount. It might actually be in the MyGM app. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, that was actually pretty frustrating. While I was at the charging station, I did everything I could think of in order to find where the discount might be displayed and get a receipt. Again, I used plug-in charge, so there wasn't actually a card tapped on the credit card reader, and nothing was displayed on the screen as was shown as far as a discount. So I figured what I would do is once I got home, I would search the My Cadillac online account to see if there was some way of retrieving the receipt from there. And if there was a problem, I would just contact customer service to see if there's a way of pulling a receipt or what I might have been doing wrong. And I did mention that I have two General Motors cars that have different badges. And I think that is messing with the back-end systems. I don't think General Motors has really thought through one household where there's two General Motors electric vehicles with two different badges that both want to be viewed by the owners in the household. Like, you know, my wife has her car, I have my Chevrolet Equinox, and we share each other's cars on occasion. You know, sometimes I'm taking the Cadillac on a trip and then she uses the Equinox, and to have one app, so we don't have to each have two apps with two different logins, just have one app for both cars. And the app does allow for more than one car, but there has to be a primary account holder. In this particular case, because my wife's Cadillac LYRIQ is the first car that was on the system, and then the Chevy Equinox was added later, she's the primary account holder. So anyway, I think there's some complexities in the back end that kind of mess up the ability to do some of these features when there's a situation such as ours. Regardless, on the way home, my wife let me know, she was sitting shotgun, I was driving, that she just received an email with the receipt, and that's what we're looking at now. And if you do look right here, we do have the discount, which is exactly 10%. We were charged $6 and we got 60 cents off for a total of $5.40 with some sales tax. So there's the 10% discount. It is in effect, and I think in order for this to actually take effect, and the way it's written on the alert that General Motors pushed through to the MyGM app account holders is, let me just read it in its completeness. Get 10% off fast charging at IONNA rechargeries when you start a session through your My Chevrolet app. Visit the public charging page to ensure you're signed up for supported network access. So I did not use the app. I just used plug-in charge. So we know that works. So apparently if you use the in-dash navigation in order to initiate the charge, or you use the actual app in the phone, or you use plug and charge, any of those three things, it looks as though the discount will apply. So you do have to be a General Motors EV owner, and you have to have those integrations set up with IONNA in order for that to apply. And it sounds kind of complicated. The truth is, I had this set up a long time ago for plug and charge at IONNA, and I actually prefer IONNA. The price is right, the stations are always nice and safe, and so me and my wife have actually taken to using IONNA with regularity. As I said, we were coming back from Congaree National Park, which is outside of Columbia, South Carolina. Really beautiful day, and the forest just really comes alive. It's a very unique ecosystem there. We really enjoyed ourselves, had a nice lunch afterwards. And when choosing places to stop, IONNA was definitely at the top of my list. Not only is it a nice station, but we got the plug and charge set up and the price is right, and now we got this 10% discount also. I mean, there's really no reason not to use IONNA, at least for us. So coming back from South Carolina or Interstate 95, coming up that Interstate 77 route into Charlotte for us, that Rock Hill canopy location with 16 stalls, it's never going to be congested, is definitely a go-to for us. But let me just show you what the app looks like. When I was at the station, I quickly did a Google search, and this is what it said. So apparently I should be able to go into the charging section, which I'll show you what it looks like here in just a second, and select charging history or activity. Neither of those two options are available, which I'll show. And I think that has to do with, again, the fact that we have two General Motors EVs with two different badges underneath the same My GM account. In this particular case, my wife and I use the My Cadillac app for both of the cars. And this is what public charging looks like. You can see there's no section here for activity, just activate. So we could activate these things. And it says I need to activate these, but actually they're already activated, because in this particular case, it's my profile. I'm a sub account underneath my wife's Cadillac account. So she's the primary account, I'm the secondary account, and these are already activated under her account. So plug and charge on the Equinox and on the Cadillac LYRIQ are both activated for IONNA, and it works great. I've been using it probably for at least 3 months now, and as I said, it's definitely a go-to option for both of us. We both like IONNA terrifically, but there is complexity with the back-end systems with General Motors. So there you have it, cha-ching. A little bit extra change in our pockets if you're a GM owner and charging at an IONNA station. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this video.